Paul. Welcome back to my channel, the Paladin. Today I'm really excited to talk about Stranger Things Season 2. I wanted to talk about this last week, but I couldn't do it. Obviously, you know the reasons. And I actually binge watched the entire season. I know it was crazy. I started around 2 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, again, crazy. And I finished it by 8 or 9 in the morning, and then I slept for about 4 hours, and it was raining heavily. Current was going on and on, so I couldn't make the review. But this week I'm gonna do the review. It was an amazing season, considering the fact that season 1 was 10 out of 10. Every other show talked about this. It played to the nostalgic card. Kids, kind of like ET style thing, superpowers, science fiction, parallel universes. So every sci-fi fans, who grew up, in their 30s or 40s, it kind of touched them by, acting kids instead of like grown-ups. So it played all the cards right, and the first season was just perfect in all the way that you could have seen. You could obviously nitpick some of the errors there, but that's kind of like a season where you can compare it with other shows, how they should make their own shows. So it was like a comparing tool, and again, that's why it was 10 out of 10. To live up to that expectations was really hard, but I think they knocked it out of the park in season 2. Obviously, again, there are going to be some mistakes, there are going to be some errors, nitpicking going on, but I think they did a good job, considering the fact, just again, living up to the expectations is really tough, and they did a wonderful job at it. So I'll talk about the story without giving too much away, and obviously the characters who are new into this kind of like the little town, who got introduced and stuff like that. I'm not going to say who died and not, because that's a spoiler area. Too much spoilers I don't want to give you guys, because you have to enjoy the show first of all. So just go and see the show, and again, just how it did well and how it didn't do well compared to the first season, and my possibilities of a villain, theories, considering the facts, are all being covered in the last week's video. So if you want to go check it out, last week's video. So I'm not going to talk about them here. I'm just going to talk about season 2 and possibilities of the things that went wrong and right in season 2 comparing to season 1. So without much further ado, let's just get into it. So first, the story. Now we have been introduced to, again, parallel universes, big giant monsters, demigorgons, superpowers, cruelty, Department of Energy, conspiracies, pretty much everything that you can expect from 12, 13 seasons of X-Files. Just take them all from there, and then just constrict it to season 1 in 13 episodes of Stranger Things. Now that was the main reason it was high successful, because every card, if you are a fan of conspiracy, it hit you. If you are a fan of superheroes, it would hit you. So every region it kind of hit with the people, so they loved the show. And to take the story, from that point, from the monsters, and again showcasing it to a new monster. That's it. They didn't do anything else. The same upside down world is the enemy, and the guy who was in it, who came out, just took something from him, and it came from there. It was the virus, and that virus is really big, and it makes you see things, hallucinations and stuff like that. It's fun, because explaining a small normal virus, okay, that's it, just a virus, in a big, emphatic, monstrous way, they would have done a great job at it. CGI they didn't have that much of a budget, because obviously it's not a big of a show like Game of Thrones, but they did what they did in the own budget they were given. The CGI, considering the monsters, was really good. Humanity in this show was actually a great thing, because everyone, you forget that it's a show that is created for kids and a little bit of teenagers and adults as well. It should cover every one of those demographics. And not just that, when you see the show, it's like, oh my god, it's not just about monsters, superpowers, the mass sequences where the 11 turns up and snap the neck or whatever she does great, but it also showcases how there's human side to them, how they act humane, how they find things, how they go upon their lives. That sort of thing Stranger Things 2 did really well, because of the comparisons that you can do from season 1. Like the characters like Steve, who was like a bully in the first season. He was like he was like an agitated character in this first season. He would be like, dude, why are you even there? And then in season 2, just like full transformation. He's like, dude, where are you going? Be in every sequence that you can be, please. So it's just something that everyone loves, and just like the love triangle that started in season one would have had a conclusion in this season, and will be the point of victim, because I don't know why they are doing this to that little boy, but apparently they want to do so. Just like, you know what, you're the cause of all the problems that are going to be there. He will try to escape from the virus's stronghold, but it will essentially catch him in the end, and he will be acting like a spy to the virus from the upside down world. He will be like just a kind of like a control puppet, and he will be doing things. And Levin was not the focus point of this show. It was really really surprising, because in season one the major success of the show come from Eleven as a character, how she came to be, how she has the powers, what she did with those powers, how she kind of like got integrated to the gang. So they took all of that and then they just shattered it, because they didn't care about Eleven at all in the season. And you will be like, no man, that's not true, but that's the case. She was just in the outskirts. She was with Harper, as she was like she was in trouble with the government, so she was in a confinement position where Harper would keep her there. The screenplay was really good in terms of like parallels. They would show how they kind of like let her escape from the upside down world after she defeated the monsters, how she came out, how she found Hopper, how Hopper helped her to kind of have a normal life, and where she has been, what she's been doing all this time around. So that was really good. Again, the plot of the story in season one revolved around Levin. In this one, Levin would be outside the plot, and she would come in only in the later stages of the show and help everyone else, as a superhero should be. But that's all fine and good. But I thought she should be more of a character rather than just like a side one. I didn't like that, to be honest with you. And the subplot in the seventh episode, that just turned me off. The show was going in a fucking great pace till that point. It's like done, 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 done. Sixth episode, turn up to the fifth gear. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I never clicked on the seventh episode so fast, never. And I did that, but it was a different episode. It was like as the Duffer brothers said themselves, it was like a soft pilot to 8, who was a sister of Levin, and she had her own crew, and Levin would go to find her. I don't know why, to kind of have a kind of like sister moments. I have no idea the purpose of that episode. Maybe we will be understanding that in, say, Stranger Things season 3, or their own show, in their own spin-off. Probably so, but I didn't like the inclusion of that seventh episode, because it kind of played a mind game on this. Like, you think it was a fifth gear. No, it's not. It's just a fourth gear. Now, the 8th episode and 9th episode is going to go fifth gear. But I thought sixth episode was really, really well done. And I really wanted to look forward for that big kind of change. But it didn't happen. You have to wait till 8th episode. Again, it's not big deal, because we've been seeing it in Netflix. So all the episodes have been released in a single day. But if it has been done for normal shows, I think it would have been played well, because considering the fact you should wait till 1 week extra, it would have added to the suspense and stuff like that. But since it's like all the episodes combined, we want to see the major thing, not the side one. But apparently the Duffer brothers thought that was amazing idea, so you gotta give props for thinking that. It didn't work out really well. People still hate that 7th episode, but as a season whole, it just blew me out of the park. It was a great season. It had great characters, not just roles played by actors. Just as a season, it had a character. It came off, it said what it wanted to say, it played an impact, and then it moved on. So I think that was a great thing for it. And now I want to talk about the characters in the show. Again, I don't want to talk about the already existing characters in the show, because they did a good job at it. They did a good job. So kudos to all the kids acted in it. But there's like 3 new characters majorly. One is Bob, who'd be like kind of like a man in Will's house, who would be a relationship with Will's mom. I thought he was a unnecessary inclusion. They forced. I thought he was forced into the script, but when he would kind of like when his character would be showcased throughout the show, throughout the plot of the show, I thought I grew kind to him. He was good and fine. And there was actually Mad Max, was like a replacement for 11, because she was not there throughout the show. So she would enter the show only in the eighth episode. So, and near the end only. So they showed Max as a replacement. She didn't replace. She was not necessary, but again the story was entirely different from first season. So she was there, and her mad stepbrother Billy, who was like a bully, supreme bully to even Steve. So he was a weird character as well. He kind of like a human villain. They had monsters everywhere, so they had like, oh, just the kids have a problem with this guy, and they would have a problem with this guy, but it would be like solved in like to 20 seconds. So I thought it was not well done, but maybe his character will be expressed even better in season 3. So I'm just waiting for that. So overall, and again, I had some issues in season 1 where the ending was not that great. It was abrupt, and they didn't show everyone's family. They just showcased Will's family because it was in danger, and Mike's family because he had 11. But the other two families were like, oh, no problem. It's not even like they don't have kids, right? But this time around, they showcased Dustin's mom, who was an amazing character, to be honest with you. I love Lucas's family. That one sequence where Lucas would be like, Lucas and Max would have a thing, and Max would get mad at Lucas and walk away. So he would ask his dad, "What would you do if mom gets mad? What are the things that you need to do to get a woman back and stuff like that." So the kind of like advice he would advise him. So I think those are the sequences that really, really made me want to watch the show. And Steve and Dustin would have like a bromance thing going on. They would have a great kind of like arc. I didn't expect that to be there, and the kids would have grown so much. Mike would have had his own story arc. Will would have had his own story arc. Lucas would have his own story arc, and Dustin, oh my god, Dustin was the best of the best. He would go. The best sequence in the entire show was, for me, is, I know there's like plenty of scenes for you guys, I understand that, but for me is Dustin would go. He would have a problem in his house, so he would go to Mike's house to see if Mike's is there or everyone is there, and Mike's father would open the door and it's like, is Mike there? He would say no, he said, and his mother would say, Will's house. Okay, Will's house. Where's Nancy? Nancy is like, oh, she's at her friend's house. He's a son of a bitch, and he'd be like, just son of a bitch, you don't know. And he would walk away. It's like, watch your mouth, young man. It's like, oh shit, that was a fucking great sequence. And then Steve would walk with flowers to woo Nancy after the fight, and she would not be there, so they would kind of like, oh, there's like plenty of other problems than your love life, man, come with me. And they both would have a great kind of like sequence together, so I loved it. And Jonathan and Nancy would finally kind of like finish their sexual frustrations between them. It was not a good thing that they kind of had a love triangle in a kids show, but they could have kind of like patched off. Okay, this is going to be the thing. Jonathan and Nancy is going to be the thing, and there's going to be also be conspiracy theories going on. So when the conspiracy theory, it's a fun thing. We would conspire about a lot of things, but when we hear a conspiracy which is actually the truth, we would just stutter. Just like sit down and it's like, oh shit. And the same thing would happen to the guy who would be who would write conspiracies pretty much in his life, and he would have conspiracies about the Department of Energy, and that happened in those sequences. And when Nancy and Jonathan would say everything to him, he would be like, damn, stop it. It's not, it's too much, people won't accept it. So what can we do? We have to water down the entire story to a point where they would understand, and they would give that understanding thing to the government and to the medias, and the building would finally be shut down. Again, the building would be the major focus of the story because of the virus. It would be named Mind Flayer because it wanted to kind of like flay everyone under it and just control everyone with a hive mind. But the writers are smart than we give them credit for. They did a lot of things. The entire virus has a hive mind. So you watch the show, you will understand the little bit of things that you will miss, but you would understand it when you see the show. So I just wanted to do it like entire thing. I could have separated the two, like 1 to 4 or 5 to 9, stuff like that, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the show. And as a whole, let me tell you, this show was absolutely amazing, and you have to give it a chance. Just have to give it a chance. You have to watch the show. It is 9 out of 10 in my books. It didn't have a lot of issues except for the seventh episode. The entire seventh episode was a problem. It shouldn't have been there, And everyone is like, oh, that's why I reduced 1 mark. Everything was good. Music, let me tell you, better than season 1, to be honest with you. Everyone would be like, season 1 was great, but if you have to rewatch season 1 because you saw season 1 in the nostalgia. You watched season 1 because of fandom. You watched season 1 because of the hype. All right, it was nothing in terms of like story or music and stuff like that. Season 2 did it better. You will watch season 2 with high expectations. Maybe you will not get those expectations, but in my books, if you want to watch it, just watch season 1 again and season 2 again, both together as a whole. It's not like big thing like 22 episodes. You can watch it pretty much in a weekend. Watch it again and then you will see what I'm talking about. Season 2 music was really, really good. At certain points, music was dialogues. If that happens, that show is really good. So 9 out of 10. Music was good. Visual was really great for the budget they had. Actors, again, really done their job to perfection. Story, Duffer Brothers did a great job. We have to see, the 7th episode's kind of like ending properly. There's like plenty of things that we need to still have hope for, but we can hope for it. And probably it won't be coming out in 2018, as they said. So Game of Thrones and Stranger Things are in 2019. But next year we get Westworld, so there is something for us. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, share the video with friends and family, subscribe to the channel for English movies, TV shows, reviews, reactions and stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you. Bye. So if you guys liked that video, why not check out the previous one while you're at it, and as well as check out the entire playlist with the popcorn. Subscribe to the channel for English movies and TV shows, and as well check out my gaming channel, which has a plenty of cool stuff in it. You would like it, so go and subscribe to there. Subscribe here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.